What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. So we've had 4 episodes of The Acolyte now. The Acolyte, written, of course, by Harvey Weinstein, former personal assistant Leslye Headland. And almost everyone is rejecting it. Of course, that 14% Rotten Tomatoes, which we still have, and that IMDb of like a 3.6 at this point. So it's being wholly rejected for multiple different facets. And one of the facets that's being rejected, and of course just being memed on, and it's also one of those, well, what do you expect also from someone who out of one side of her mouth laments the fact that gay people, queer people get put in a little box where all they can do is write about or talk about their queerness, and then in the other side of her mouth has an interview where she says queer like 3 or 4 times in 30 seconds, and then when she actually is given a Star Wars project, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, given a Star Wars project, what does she do? What does she do? Well, she makes a coven full of matriarchal force lesbian witches, at least 2 of them confirmed. Certainly didn't see any men in that group. Again, her choice. And then what do we expect? She immaculate conception through, I hope, for scissoring. Otherwise, it's going to be real boring if she's just thinking really hard, staring at coral. But that has all led to this. And we talked about this on a stream yesterday. Shout out to the open bar, pre-game we had for their 100 episodes. The Acolyte creator doesn't believe her Star Wars series is queer with a capital Q. Also, after things like this.
Not the gay Star Wars. Not the...
It's pretty gay, let's be honest.
And so also we have that part. Plays covering it, that the Acolyte showrunner Leslye Headland sad that her most important piece of art is being dismantled. Yeah, says it's reductive to describe witches as lesbians. That's how you depicted them. That's how they've been described in promotional material. All right, let's get into her comments. So Leslye Headland, I love that we all do this. Leslye Headland, the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein. I want you to understand why, because maybe you don't know about this. It has been and was an open secret that Harvey Weinstein, who of course was the first big get of the hashtag #MeToo for over a decade, well over, was essentially get a little contract. You let me do the actual, more than scissoring, and you'll get movie parts. And it seems the rub on this was he was good to his word. So this whole thing lasted for a good long time. And Leslye was his personal assistant. I don't know about you, but I don't know what a personal assistant would be hired for other than to do personal things like grocery shopping and scheduling meetings with young starlets, maybe holding a few of them down. Either way, I don't know how any of those duties somehow translate to, hey, here's the key to Star Wars, and you can use any of the canon, Legends, or Disney fanfic. You can do whatever you want. And then Kathleen Kennedy, who also must have made some coffee for some people and has some dirt. Probably that's why she dismantled George's legacy. I know he said something about her bad note-taking or the coffee being a little burnt. And she's like, oh, I'll get you. And well, she's done that, hasn't she? So again, no reason for a personal assistant to anyone, let alone Harvey, notorious Harvey, to be given the keys to a Star Wars. But she was, and because again, that was another tactical decision on Harvey. Congratulations. Too ugly to assault. Shout out to Quarter Black Garrett for that joke. It's a joke, but it's sort of serious. The serial graper, or the man that can't not try to have sex with as many starlets as he can. Of course, he hired an ugly lesbian, for lack of a better term, so he wouldn't even have to worry about the temptation of that. You know, big arms, strong, good for guiding and not letting go of women when they try to run. Allegedly, but probably real. Allegedly. So a couple of these articles talking about it, and want to focus on some of her comments. Here they are. Honestly, I feel sad that the people who would think that if something were gay, that would be bad. And just referring... let's finish the full thing. It makes me feel sad that a bunch of people on the internet would somehow dismantle what I consider to be the most important piece of art that I've ever made. What makes you feel more sad, Leslye? That people are dismantling your lesbian fanfic, or the fact that Harvey probably is tied with Mr. Bill on the amount of women he took advantage of? I'm just wondering, because at least Bill seems, for the most part, did that with his own gumption. You assisted him personally for many years, but everyone knew, but I'm sure you knew nothing. Sure, you don't have any dirt on anyone, and that's not at all why you would be getting this series. So yeah, it makes her feel sad that we don't like her Force witches and that we're dismantling it down to its bare bones of bare scissoring with the Force, probably. Oh, Leslie. The showrunner would also address her interview with the Rap. I know we played that one clip. I personally prefer this
The
one.
gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. And are you excited about that? Are you
Not the
bracing
gayest
yourself?
Star Wars. Not the.
It's pretty gay, let's be honest.
So they reacted, and she knew. Come on. That's also where she goes, I'm into it. But saying that, she goes, I was surprised by the question. Mandela and I just burst out laughing because that's our knee-jerk reaction to being asked that. And you get asked it a lot. Daphne Keene was just asked about their wonderful gay agenda. And Daphne and Keene's response was, of course, oh, I'm so happy you asked me that. That, of course, being that Jackie's gay, by the way. And I saw someone in the comments like, why do you care? It's very interesting to have a Jedi who's not supposed to have feelings or attachments, possibly gay. You're right, it is. The point is, though, is who's doing it. And amongst all the other changes, it was just a Star Wars show where there was a lesbian Jedi who was starting to have feelings and they had to deal with the attachments. If I wouldn't care, but it's just fucking funny of someone who says, my show's not queer with a capital Q, and then makes everyone lame and gay. It's just a stunning lack of social and self-awareness. And that doesn't surprise me at all. It's funny. Fuck. What else is there to do but point it out and laugh at it? Again, you want to make us all, oh, you're threatened, you're scared. Gamer word, don't no one give a fuck about gay people or trans people. That's the point, except when you come after kids, then we do start to care, and that's the other rub. But for the most part, we don't care who you're fucking, and that's what upsets you, that we don't care. You just really want people, again, I said it once before, they used to come out with fear of getting exiled from their family. Now they come out and they're disappointed when they don't get a goddamn medal. It's equal parts infuriating and hilarious. And I go back and forth every time. She says, and to all that, she goes, I don't believe I've created queer with a capital Q content. Holy shit, I'd love to see what you do think would be queer with a capital Q. Despite the show marketing the space witches as lesbians, Headland now tells THR they're in a matriarchal society. As a gay woman, I knew it would read that their sexuality is clear, but there also aren't any men in their community. By your fucking design! Dave even said, there are other Night Sisters, there's other Force witches besides Night Sisters. Night Sisters have Night Brothers. There's a breeder group, for fuck's sake. You specifically went out of your way to make it female. It's literally taking the spoke, the stick, and putting it in the front tire of your spoke. And then when your bike crashes, you go, why did you do that? It's like, you wrote that. No one told you to write that. She then stated, I would say it's really reductive to call them lesbians. I think it means you're not really paying attention to, oh, sweet baby honey child. Indeed, we are paying attention. Indeed, we are. And yeah. Even if they weren't, that is the least. It's just, again, that's just the meme stuff. It's just the meme stuff. How they created the twins using the thread, which is just the Force, using magic, which is just the Force. That's the rub. And if they do what I think they're going to do, well, holy shit. And again, the biggest conception and inception, the biggest insult to biological women ever. Could you imagine if a man did this in an argument? Coral, of course, says, I carried them. And Anasea goes, I created them. Could you imagine if in an argument, the woman goes, I carried them. And the man goes, so it's my seed. My semen, I carried them. I created them rather. So all you did was you're just a birther. Do you see? You could, yeah. I'm just reading into it, but boy, did they make it easy. That's what I'm saying. Is boy, did they make it easy for me to read a bunch of modern day shit into this. Really fucking easy. And then yeah, lesbian conception still at a 14%. In case you were wondering. 3.4, so that has gone down. And then yeah, that was that article of Daphne and Keene, just again confirming that if you were wondering, Asha and Jackie were flirting with each other in that 4th episode, and that's assuming she doesn't. Assuming she survives this one, then I guess we'll see more of Jackie and Asha. Oh, we won't. It'll be an unrequited love. They're already being shipped. Either way, let me know what you think of former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslye Headland's comments that even though all evidence, talking points, and future episodes, that we hear about to the contrary, yes, Leslye, you did make a show with a capital Q. We don't give a shit. It's just funny. It's your butchering of the force and she here, but
you can't keep getting away with it.
Oh, it's got to be stopped.
Well, bye.
By the way, make sure to like, share, and sub. If you've done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And we'll do that one more time.
Well, bye.